The North remembers because winter is coming. How stark vengeance is coming.
What's up, YouTube? Sir Hunt's Reviews, and this is going to be part 2 of a 4-part video series on Game of Thrones Season 6 Plot Leak. Alright, yesterday I covered what was going to happen to Arya, what was going to happen to Daenerys, and a little bit of the Iron Islands. In this video, I'm going to cover what's going to happen in King's Landing, what's going to happen in the Riverlands, and part of what's going to happen in the North. Now, after I make these videos, I'm going to go back and do another video going over all the stuff that has actually been confirmed from the known spoilers, that are factual spoilers from the Watchers on the Wall. This, once again, is a post from a Reddit thread of somebody claiming to have the entire Season 6 plot leaked. This is that exact comment. I'm going to be reading part of it, giving my thoughts on it, and make sure you guys let me know what you think down in that comment section down there. You let me know what you think. I want to know. I love you guys. You guys are the best people in the world. Alright, let's get right into things. King's Landing is insane this season. Cersei is out for vengeance, plotting with Qyburn in his lab. She has no political power, now that Kevin has taken over, and Kevin tries to maintain the peace before the trials occur, which, surprisingly, Cersei's trial doesn't happen till the end of the season. They're trying to slow shit down because last season was so fast-paced. They're trying to slow shit down this season to try to keep up with the books. But I think it would be awesome if the show, for once, spoiled something that was going to happen in the book, like Stannis is dying. Stannis is confirmed dead on the show. He's still alive in the books, but we'll probably find out what happens to him in the first couple chapters of Winds of Winter. Alright, back to King's Landing. Mace Tyrell returns to get scolded by Lady Olenna, his mom, into calling in the troops. Jaime returns with Marcella's body and out for Dornish blood, but Kevin directs him towards the Riverlands. Oh, I knew he was going to the Riverlands. Alright, so maybe it's Kevin that makes him go there. Jaime refuses at first, saying he needs to stay with Cersei and Tommen, though Cersei refuses to see him or Tommen. Halfway through the season, Tommen convinces him to free Marjorie over Kevin's objections, using some of the Tyrell troops. Turns out she's completely broken and converted woman. I saw something about those pictures that leaked with Jaime Lannister and the Tyrell troops right outside the Sept. She looked broken, bro, and she was. Jaime finally meets with Cersei, who basically breaks up with him for good, at which point he decides to go to the Riverlands in episode 7. Yes, Bronn goes with him, and it's the first he appears this season. There's some really funny dialogue between them, as it's always to expect it. So we're not going to see Bronn until episode 7. He's not necessarily one of my favorite characters, but he's definitely fucking hilarious. Like, he's always like trying to get like the hottest girls and shit. Like I touched on yesterday, the dude is a lover. My favorite part of him last season when he's like, the Dornish man's wife, the Dornish, and you know what I'm saying? He's like sitting in the cell singing that song, but right before they left, he's like, the Dornish are crazy. When they're not fucking and fighting, they're fighting and fucking. And then after that, they fuck some more and then fight some more. Basically, that's what he's saying. He's fucking hilarious. He's got some of the best one-liners in the show, other than the dialogue between Arya and the Hound way back in season 4, 3, and 2. Alright. It gets really insane once the trials happen. Basically, Olenna brings in Littlefinger's gift, which was Gendry. Motherfucking Gendry is coming back, bros and ladies. Gendry is coming back. I'm not even a big fan of Gendry, but I'm also not a fan of the Lannisters pretending to be Baratheon, when we all know those are some super inbred motherfuckers. Mind you, almost every single house in Game of Thrones in A Song of Ice and Fire is inbred. The Starks are related to Targaryens, the Baratheons, like everybody, dude. Everybody's related. I'll try to do a video on the lineage, but the Lannisters are just given so much shit because it's obviously the ones that are still doing it. Targaryens did it so much they went fucking crazy. That's why I said it would be awesome if we had the Mad King. Anyway, I just thought about this. Jon Snow has black hair, right? Ned Stark doesn't have black hair in the show. Mind you, in the books, I think he looks a little bit different than he does in the show. He looks more Stark in the books, the way Ned Stark's description is described. What if, I don't know too much about the Tower of the Joy and what happened right before Robert's rebellion, but what if Robert somehow ended up consummating with Lyanna Stark and she got pregnant, and then Rhaegar took her away, and then obviously they had relations, and then she ended up having the baby, but as soon as she saw it, she knew it was Robert's. And what if that's why Jon Snow has that curly black hair? Because they made a point to say that, like, he's going through the little Baratheon book, black hair, black hair, black hair, black hair. Every single Baratheon, all the way down the line, black hair. Lannisters have gold hair. That's when he started looking at that. But what if, when Robert Baratheon asked him, he said, who's Jon Snow's mother? He had that weird little smirk on his face, or who's Jon's, yeah. Like, basically, well, it's my sister, but you're the father. Would that not be fucking crazy? Actually, I'm not going to take credit for this because I was at a smoker friendly one time buying some cigarettes, and I got to talking Song of Ice and Fire with the cashier clerk, and she actually said, well, what if such and such? And I just added in all my extra shit. But anyway, Gendry shows up. He hasn't been rowing this whole time after all. His testimony is that Cersei ordered the murder of Robert's bastards because Joffrey, along with Myrcella and Tommen, are products of incest and not true royalty. So everybody's like, oh, the Baratheons hold the seat or whatever, like the Iron Throne. Like, no, the Lannisters do, bro. They're fucking inbred. I think we all know that. They listen to Gendry talk about how the Lannister soldiers were sent for him, and they believe his testimony. The High Sparrow agrees to release Loras, and the Tyrells get out of Dodge with all their men, or so it seems. In the finale, it really goes down. The Sparrows storm the Red Keep to arrest Tommen and Cersei. I'm going to do a super spoiler warning for right now because this part of this next paragraph has already been confirmed to be true. So, super spoiler warning. If you guys don't want to watch this, you can either skip a little bit past it, or check it out after the new season comes out. I don't know. But anyway, the Lannister guards are barely able to hold them off. Tommen, now that Marjorie has left, goes all emo and hands himself over to the Sparrows before fighting. Cersei loses her shit and orders Frankenmountain to kill them all. Kevin goes off in search of Pycelle in order to call Jaime back to the capital. Tommen is... Super spoiler warning! Tommen is killed in the chaos, as is Lancel. Frankenmountain walks up to the High Sparrow, who says something about the gods protecting him, so the mountain lifts him up with one hand around his throat and yells, "I'll send you to your gods then!" Slams his body into the stone pavement. So, hopefully, the High Sparrow is not Howland Reed, because if he is, then he's fucking dead. With the Red Keep burning, Cersei picks up Tommen's dead body and walks to the throne room. She kneels before the Iron Throne crying over Tommen until someone walks up behind her. It's Loras, who stabs her in the back slowly. Prophecy much? The Valancourt prophecy? Everybody thought the Valancourt prophecy, Loras was going to be the one to fulfill that, not Jaime. As she drops to the floor, then backs away out of the throne room from ironing. So, Loras didn't die. They thought he was dead. Alright, in the last scene of the season at King's Landing, Kevin is walking in on a dead Pycelle. He turns around to see Varys, who tells him the queen is coming, and then shoots him dead with a crossbow. There's apparently going to be a final shot of snow falling on a burning Red Keep. So winter is finally come to King's Landing. Let me redo that real quick.
Winter is coming, and it's finally here to King's Landing.
Oh man, I don't know about you guys, but a lot of this shit has been confirmed to be true, and I'm getting really excited about it, sitting here talking about it with you guys. Like I said in my video yesterday, I am having conversations with you guys. I'm not making YouTube videos to do all this other shit, like all this fancy shit. No, I'm just straight up having a conversation, me and you, whoever's watching, man or woman, we're having a conversation about Game of Thrones Season 6. Alright, now last but not least, we're going to talk about the Riverlands. I'm going to save the North for another video. So that, well, no, I guess I'll do part of the, I'll do part of the North, and then I'll do the rest of the North, and the final scenes in the last video. So the last video should only be about 4 to 5 minutes, unless I get carried away like this. Alright, so what's going on in the Riverlands? There's not a whole lot in the Riverlands until the last few episodes. I said Riverlands. But we do see Walder Frey sending people out in search for a new young bride. Black Walder, his son, is captured by some outlaws who tell Black Walder that they have the perfect bride for his father. Plus, we see Edmure in the dungeon trying to get a message to his uncle, the Blackfish. The outlaw band is like the Brotherhood without banners, but instead of exploiting people, they end up being Robin Hood types. They have a brief run-in with what I believe to be Ian McShane's character, an old priest of the Seven, who has a hooded friend / bodyguard who doesn't talk. Sounds like the motherfucking Hound to me, buddy. So Ian McShane, he's one of my favorite actors. He's been cast for the show. We all thought he might play an aged Euron Greyjoy or a Victorian, but he's actually going to be playing the local maester who saved the Hound's life. Hopefully. When Jaime and Bronn arrive in episode 8, they meet with Walder Frey and tell him they'll find the Blackfish, who's apparently been trying to foment a rebellion, and we also find out that Walder has found his bride and is getting married. The end of episode 8 is Black Walder being brought before Thoros of Myr. He asks to talk to Beric to see if they can reach an understanding. Thoros says Beric is dead, this time for good. Then turns to a robed figure. Thoros says she can't talk, however, but she remembers. Now this might be full of shit. I'm just going to let you know, because Watchers on the Wall has not confirmed anything about Catelyn Stark and Lady Stoneheart. That's who he's talking about, the hooded figure. But if it does, I will make a 47-minute video for you guys talking about how fucking awesome it would be to have Lady Stoneheart on Game of Thrones. The final scene in the Riverlands is Walder Frey being wed to his new bride and telling the priest to get on with it. Suddenly the room goes dark and the door opens. It's Thoros of Myr and the Brotherhood. Walder threatens to have him hanged. Thoros explains how Beric died to bring her back, and the time for repaid debts is now. Lady Stoneheart, a reanimated Catelyn Stark, enters. She throws the severed head of Black Walder at Walder Frey's feet. So basically, she cut off Walder Frey's son's head and threw it at Walder Frey. The aftermath is not in the script, unfortunately. So we don't know what happens. According to this, we'll know what happens when it airs. But according to this, he wasn't able to find out what happens after Catelyn Stark, Lady Stoneheart, throws Walder Frey's son in front of Walder Frey. Alright, this is going to be the first half of the North. This is all I'm covering in this video. But basically, in the North. First off with Sansa and Theon are found by Brienne and Podrick, who are subsequently hunted down by the Bolton guards in episode 3. Brienne manages to kill them all, but Podrick gets shot by an arrow. Brienne gets pretty emotional about his death before they have to get moving. Damn, so Pod dies? That's fucked up. Brienne gets pretty emotional about his death before they have to get moving. I just said that. They make it to the last hearth in episode 4, and they find Rickon and Osha there as well. Rickon. That'd be so cool if they did that fan fiction King Rickon shit. God, that should be so awesome. I'm going to do a video on that very soon. Very soon. That's such a good like fan fiction storyline, and it fits in perfectly. Like George R.R. Martin could totally do it. He's probably not, because he's obviously somebody else wrote it and he's not gonna, you know what I mean. They make it to the last arc in episode 4 and they find Rickon and Osha there as well. It's a pretty touching reunion. Small John Umber promises to keep Sansa safe from the Boltons. He tells her the North remembers Lady Stark.
The North remembers.
And the traitor's reign is almost over. Talking about the Boltons, of course. Meanwhile, Roose and Ramsay plot against Littlefinger, who should have arrived in Winterfell but apparently is late. Roose worries he may have found out about Sansa's absence, so Ramsay, assuming Sansa went to Castle Black, writes the Lord Commander, demanding her back or he will have to come up there with an army and take her himself. I'm going to end that little part from the video right now. Sorry, I know it was just getting like super interesting, but that is the pink letter. A lot of people think that Mance Rayder wrote the pink letter. That's not possible in the show because he's dead. So maybe this is what actually gets Ramsay to write that pink letter and send it to Jon. Maybe that's what sends Jon down there with all the House Stark bannermen, and that's what causes the Battle of the Six Armies. We don't know until it airs, but I will do my best to decipher through all the bullshit once I finish this it'll be a 3-part video series. Once I finish this 3-part video series, I'm going to try to cipher through all the bullshit for you guys and mix it with the known spoilers so we know exactly what's going to happen and I can give you guys a super outline for Season 6. Thank you for watching. Not all the information is factual, like I said, because it's from... These guys don't all the way turn out to be right, but a lot of shit that he's mentioned in here before any of the known spoilers turned out to be true. I'm I want to thank you guys once again for watching. Make sure you click like, subscribe, check out this video I'm suggesting up here, and peace. You take